All right, let's talk about this film. This supposedly balanced, nuanced, shows both extremes masterpiece that DiCaprio and the director keep bragging about.
Inability to understand one another, extremism on both ends, and I think that's what is the central theme of these characters, is finding the humanity in.
Yeah, about that.
Because what this movie actually does is the exact opposite. It claims to critique extremism, but ends up becoming propaganda with better lighting. This film sends one crystal clear message. Far left organizations have moral permission to use violence. Far right groups use violence because they're inherently evil. That's the entire structure. The revolutionaries are portrayed as emotionally wounded idealists who just lose their way sometimes. Meanwhile, the so-called neo-Nazis are framed as authoritarian sadists who exist solely to dominate, terrorize, and dehumanize. No nuance, no ideological tension, no internal conflict on the left. Their violence is contextualized and forgiven. The right's violence is pure pathology. DiCaprio claimed the film attacks both extremes.
This is a political thriller, but I don't think he's imposing his ideology on the audience. Like you said, he's holding up a mirror to who we are.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
I have no other way to put this. It absolutely does not. The only organized, consistently violent, and culturally untouchable extreme in the real world is the far left. Antifa, BLM, and similar groups. We literally watched cities burn with near zero consequences. We watched protests turn into mass looting events that were rebranded as mostly peaceful. We watched media outlets twist narratives, including the BBC's infamous edited portrayal of Trump being the puppet master of January 6th.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we fight. We fight like hell.
What the fuck is going on here?
And then this film comes along and creates caricatures of right-wing villains that don't actually exist, while using them as stand-ins for Republicans, conservatives, border security advocates, and anyone who opposes illegal immigration. This isn't a critique of extremism. It's a political cartoon stretched to 2.5 hours. Let's talk about how the film portrays the Nazi racists. They don't resemble any real-world group. They resemble the director's imagination. So we're left with two possibilities. A, the director secretly fantasizes about being a swaggering racist who fetishizes black women. B, or he's like DiCaprio's character, politically neutered, self-righteous, and completely powerless, but pretending he's morally superior. DiCaprio's character doesn't even know that a Nazi impregnated his girlfriend because the film wants him to be both humiliated and virtuous at the same time. Who knows? The psyche is a deep pit. But what's clear is that this portrayal tells us more about the creators than about any political reality. And this is the part the film and many viewers fail to grasp. The desire for power is not exclusive to the right. Far left groups don't want equality. They want hierarchy, with themselves at the top. Equality is the marketing strategy. Power is the product. This is just a sanitized form of neo-communism, and history has proved repeatedly that communism fails catastrophically.
Did it, Patrick! We saved the city!
Because humans aren't built for ideological mass collectives. We're built for small, functional groups. Same with modern feminism, another ideological branch of the same Marxist tree. But the movie, it tries to convince you that the left's violence comes from noble frustration, while the right's violence comes from original sin. And the film becomes even more shallow when compared to other movies that actually understand complexity. Take Joker. It shows class tension, institutional decay, and social collapse. But it never assigns moral purity to any political faction. The chaos has multiple sources. Everyone is implicated. Even the good guys, Gordon, Batman, Dent, are capable of descending into chaos. The film acknowledges that righteousness can become tyranny. But here, Nothing. No self-reflection from the revolutionaries. No internal ideological struggle. No questioning of methods or motives. Just this. The left may be violent, but it's for a good cause. The right is violent because they're evil. That's not storytelling. That's a sermon. The most alarming part isn't even the movie. It's the 8.1 rating on IMDb. That means a majority of viewers genuinely believe in a world filled with shadowy, omnipresent, white supremacist boogeymen who operate like comic book villains. That's not an opinion. That's a hallucination created by the culture industry. Some people say, relax. It's just exaggerating the political climate.
Don't fucking panic, Bob. Keep your shit together.
But no, it feels more like wishful thinking from the creators. There is no Nazi establishment running society. There is no Republican death cult secretly controlling the government. The most profitable agenda comes from ideological units, archetypes of confused, over-sexualized, sadomasochistic activism. Just look at ads, movies, video games. Everything is soaked in the same aesthetic. Woke isn't rebellion. Woke is the default. This film doesn't challenge power. It reinforces it. It doesn't critique extremism. It protects one side while demonizing the other. It doesn't explore the complexity of political violence. It recycles propaganda tropes dressed as drama. And in doing so, it becomes part of the very establishment machine that it pretends to resist.
It keeps you on the edge of your seats, and you always know that you're going to see something incredibly unique in his films, and that's one of his superpowers.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.